So, hello and welcome to the webinar of your dreams. I'm joking. My name is Ashanti Bentil-Dhue. I am the CEO of Eventmind. And in this very short session, I am going to share with you the insider secrets, okay, to saving money and saving time when it comes to choosing event technology. Now, this isn't chalk and board. I'm really friendly, I promise. You can ask any questions that you want answered in this session. Pop your message into the chat box function. And not to worry, you won't have to look at my face for the whole session. I am going to share some slides with you so that you can absorb and maybe take some notes and get some of the information that you are actually looking for. Okay? Okay. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Ashanti Bentil-Dhue. I am the CEO of Eventmind, and we help companies to choose the right event technology stack for their virtual and hybrid events. Okay, so we're going to be talking about how to save time and money. We're going to be talking about how to save time and money in order to buy the right technology stack. Now, not to worry, you're not going to have to look at my face for the whole time. I am going to share screen so that you can take notes. You are absolutely welcome and free to ask questions at any point in time. Nothing is off the table, nothing is off limits. So what I'm about to do now is share screen with you, okay? Get comfy, here we go. Okay, so, okay, we're going to be talking about how you choose the right event technology for your online event success. Okay, look, it doesn't matter what your strategy is right now. Doesn't matter who you are, what kind of company you work for, what kind of events you are running pre-COVID. The key right now is choosing the right event technology. Okay, now, although the technology is an inanimate tool, and as human beings, we have to interfere, interject, we have to input data, commands, and instructions for technology to do what it is we need it to do. Nonetheless, choosing the wrong technology costs you and your business time and money, okay? And actually can skew whether or not you're getting the right results that you might have in mind for your online events. And it's really important because sometimes the success that we're looking for that we don't get has to do with the technology we may have chosen in the first place. So who am I? Who am I to be telling you this? Well, my name's Ashanti Bentil-Dhue. I am the CEO of Eventmind. We are the only transparent and unbiased directory of event technology companies. We help companies choose the right technology stack for online event success. So we have this kind of really good grasp of what the event tech landscape is like right now, who the players are, the costings, but also the right fit for your online event. So it's estimated by 2024, 75% of events that take place will be online. Now, this spans across B2B, B2C, and social. And you can see, depending on where you're based right now in the world, I'm based in the UK, for example. And right now in the UK, we are in a second lockdown. Now, that has meant that many companies, where they may have thought that online events was a very temporary arrangement, it has now become embedded, integrated into a long-term strategy, whether that's digital marketing, recruitment, community building and engagement, or even generating leads and sales for the business. Okay, so we can see that online events are not going to slow down, they're just going to get more common, more standard, and actually more sophisticated if you're doing it right. You can see that market size growth there between 2018 and that 2026 forecast. What this means is that choosing the right technology is going to be crucial. Okay, right now there are over 300 event technology companies. Now this number continues to grow. It continues to grow. I can tell you that this number has more or less doubled over the last 9 months where we've had COVID, this global pandemic. The challenge is how to choose the right technology in the first place. Now, one of the key things that we're going to talk about is seeking unbiased advice. Why do I say this? It's really important to remember that when you go on a sales demo, for example, okay, so let's say you signed up with a couple of platforms, you filled in that calendar function on the website and you signed up for a demo. Remember, you're in a sales demo. And what that means is that the job of the rep is to sell you something. So the advice isn't necessarily unbiased. And that does make a difference, because the key here when it comes to choosing event technology is that it's like hiring a team member. And if you've ever had to hire someone before, or you've been in charge of inducting or training someone new, it takes a lot of time and investment. There is a weaning period, okay, where that new staff member has to get used to your team, your company, your values, the way you work. And that is the same when it comes to technology. And so it's not just a case of going on some demos, looking at the cost and then thinking, right, that's the right one. There are lots of other dynamics at play when choosing technology in a way that means you don't waste time and money down the road. So the number one big thing, number one piece of advice is seek unbiased advice in the first place. If you haven't nailed down what your actual strategy is, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment, if you haven't nailed down that strategy, then ending up in a sales demo might not be the right place to be. Okay, it might not be the right place to be. So what are the risks of choosing the wrong event technology? On average, buyers in companies are spending over 16 hours on event technology demos. Now, you put that into context as 3 working days. 3 working days researching technology, booking demo calls, going through the demo call, having internal meetings with colleagues, with your peers, with managers, with the budget holder, talking about whether or not this is a piece of technology you should buy, going back and forth over what are we doing, how big is the event, is it long term, how will our audience feel, what content can we upload, can we sell things on this platform, can we push and suggest content on this platform, will it have a Netflix or YouTube display and appearance? So many dynamics, and sometimes it can change from day to day depending on who's involved in the meeting. Okay, and then the other risk, apart from wasting time, is the fact that you might have limited internal resource. What do I mean by that? Well, if you put people on furlough right now, or you have indeed let people go and streamlined your team, or maybe the team members you have left in place are limited in their digital skills. This is a key area right now, okay? So not everyone is totally comfortable with social media, with using technology proficiently. And so you may well have a team of individuals who are not confident or as competent as they need to be when it comes to using the technology. So that really is a risk, okay? As it pertains to choosing the wrong event technology. Not all technology is made equal. Some technology is far more suitable for beginners, newbies to use, to get their head around, to be able to launch or run an online event at any scale. Okay, so we're going to think about now, we're going to get into the meat of it. So the 3 big points, just to summarize there: seek unbiased advice. Think about the digital skills that you have in your team and be really honest with your team. What actually can we realistically do ourselves? Okay, so here's the thing. Is your event, okay, you might be planning a series of events, maybe smaller digital ones, or maybe it's a large annual online event. Is it first time, one-off, or long-term? Okay, so I want you to really think about that. This is really key as a team to understand. Is this a first time, a one-off, or a long-term strategy? Because here's the thing, some technologies are really geared up for a one-time event, maybe of up to 100 people. up to 500 people, whereas other technologies are more of a long-term strategy. There's a lot of bespoke and custom elements. It is a technology that can host a content library, that can allow you to launch a marketplace, that allows you to give access to that content over a longer period of time to a larger amount of attendees, visitors, etc. This is why you've got to be really clear. Are we doing this for the first time? Are we doing this for the only time? Or are we doing this on a long-term basis? Now, not only does that affect the type of technology you go for, but it also impacts the cost of that technology. So some platforms, when you've identified that they're more suitable to a first-time event or a one-time event, the cost is much more reasonable. Whereas if you decide to go for an annual license, okay, then of course the pricing is reflective or indicative of that long-term strategy. And if you enter into a long-term relationship with a technology partner, there are other considerations to take into account, such as how much support do they actually provide? What does that support look like? And does that support align with our way of working, with the internal resource that we have available? It's really important to think about these things. So when you're starting off to choose, or when you're starting to choose event technology, think about it. First time, one time, or long term. The next thing, and this is a key area, is about prioritizing your needs as a company, okay? Not the wants. Here's the reason why. First of all, what happens is people get so excited by new technology. And so they see, oh, it does that now. Oh, it can send us to Mars. Oh, we can contact people any time of day. The issue here, though, is what do you actually need in terms of functions and features to facilitate the event that you are actually launching, the event that you're running? What do your stakeholders want? What do your sponsors and your partners want? What return on investment have you promised? Are they looking for? And therefore aligning those needs with the functions and features that are available on platforms. And I'll let you into a little bit of a secret here, okay? Because here's the thing. Here is the thing here. Most platforms can do the same thing, I promise. Most platforms. And one of the things we've done at Eventmind is we created this event tech landscape so we can see all of the different parts of the event tech industry and how they're growing, okay? I can tell you there's a mid-tier, mid-priced, mid-tier platforms who all basically do the same thing. And this is why when you focus on your needs and not the wants, you actually have more choice and you have more leverage on pricing, particularly if you are managing budgets, which all companies are at the moment. And this is a financial investment. So you have to make sure you're making the right choice. So prioritize your needs, not your wants, because the extra jazzy bells and whistles you can add on later when you've generated maybe some more revenue and you can afford to invest in those jazz. But you don't want to get distracted. One of the things we see a lot is clients buying technology and not using half of the features. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. But the big reason is that they didn't actually need those features, but they've actually paid for that. Okay, so you want to prioritize your needs and not your wants as a company when you are going out there to choose your event technology. A couple of other things to think about when you're choosing event technology: access and control. So how much access will you have to your platform once you've purchased it? Is it a case of you actually can't make changes? You can't upload new content. You can't adjust content. What if you need to change some branding? Do you and your team have access to your dashboard, have access to the back end of the platform that you've invested in? How much control do you get over the onboarding messaging and branding that goes out to your attendees, to your community? In a real live event situation, it's not helpful when you can't make changes. One of the things that we experience quite often at Eventmind with clients is that we'll have lots of exhibitor booths, for example, if we are running a trade show. And when the event goes live, yes, exhibitors want to change a video. They want to change an image. They want to upload a certain PDF or brochure. If we don't have the right access, controls, and permissions, we are unable to provide that support. And so it's really important when you are talking to event technology companies, okay, when you're talking to event technology companies, ask them, how much access and control do we get? Okay, what's the process for being able to say, can we change something? If a password comes up with an error message, who do we contact? And now we're moving into this customer support question. When you're choosing your event technology, remember it's like hiring a new team member. So you need to understand the communication style of that particular technology partner. Is there support only via email? How long does it take for them to get back to you? Is there a real person monitoring that email inbox or that chat box function? If so, how long will it take them to get back to you, particularly if you're just before an event or the event is already live? Okay, these are the key factors to take into account when you're choosing event technology. And the third thing there is about price transparency. Now, right now, at the moment in the market, there isn't fully transparent. There is not full transparency and benchmarking in terms of pricing. Now, what's one of the things that we do at Eventmind is we benchmark. It's so important to ask the event technology company, when you've told them what you need and you've confirmed what functions and features you would like, you need to be clear on whether or not the pricing they're giving you is transparent and encompasses all of those elements. Are there hidden costs? 9 months ago, some of the pricing strategies we saw technology companies employ was that if you wanted to record your live delivery, so right now I'm delivering this to you live, if we wanted to record this and actually re-upload it so that it's available for attendees later, there would be a cost. Okay, other technology companies, their pricing is impacted by the number of attendees or unique registrants. So you need to be asking, do you know what, over the course of 12 months, we want to have 1,000 people access this platform. How does that impact pricing on the license that I'm purchasing? If we want 5,000 people to access the platform over, I don't know, a 2-day period, for example, how does this impact pricing? So these are 3 key areas that we find are often missed from the conversation during a demo call or while reviewing event technology. Before you make the choice, how much access and control do you and your team get to that platform? How transparent and clear is the pricing when it comes from the event technology company? Do you know what you're paying for and why you're paying for it? What do those deliverables look like? And thirdly, what customer support are you being given in this process? How does that customer support look? And is that the kind of customer support you need? So if you have any questions at this point, please feel free to ask any questions. These are literally some gems, some insider tips on how you choose event technology to make sure you avoid wasting time and money in 2021. Okay, so I talked about transparency. Really ask the company, will we have a dedicated client account manager? No? Okay. What does the support look like? If we are getting someone who's dedicated, what does that support look like? So, are we able to contact them during working hours? Will it be by email or by phone? It's really important that you ask who, why, how, what, and where, because once you pay for this, you're kind of stuck with it. And one of the things that we've seen is clients coming to us, having already purchased some technology back in 2020, in the early days of the pandemic, and realizing that this technology really is not suitable for their needs, or that they didn't actually ask the right questions, and it's now not a good fit. Okay, it's now not a good fit. It's not a good fit at all. So it's really important to ask these questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Okay. Okay. So let's move on to the next point. Top 3 questions. What support is available? Okay. What is the true pricing of the package? And notice I put here true pricing, not indicative, not estimated. You want your true pricing. So you know to the cent, to the penny, to the euro. What does this investment cost us as a company? And what are the deliverables? Okay. Now, here's another little gem. So in the technology space, technology companies, they love to iterate, develop, evolve functions and features on a platform or a piece of tech. Okay, it's the most amazing thing when you get an update, okay, from the product team that says, hey, we can now do live streaming. Now, here's the thing: if you are buying the event technology, if you are the buyer, okay, is once you know what your needs and wants are and what you're trying to achieve, okay, you need to ask that platform or that technology company, are those functions and features available now? Are they available now? Why? Because there's no use if your event is in February, which, okay, is 2 weeks away now. But the functions and features that technology company are going to be bringing into play don't come into play until August. That doesn't help you. Okay, it's really important when we talk about functions and features and what's being added, we establish whether or not the ones that we need to use right now are available now. Because if they're not available now, it's not wise to purchase that product on a wish, on a hope, or a promise that a new, feature is coming into play. You really don't want to be taking those chances, particularly if this is a one-off or a first-time online event, a one-off or a first-time event technology purchase. Now, if you've done some testing and trialing in 2020, you know where you're going as a company with your strategy, then okay, that changes the game a little bit. Maybe you can take a risk and purchase technology where you have a good rapport with the company and you are fairly certain that those functions and features you need are definitely going to be live and working when you need them for your event. Okay, so it's really important to understand what exactly is available, working, active, and live right now at the time at which you need to purchase that particular technology. Now, this is all about engineering. I always say this every time in sessions when I'm training, when I'm talking to clients in an advisory capacity. None of this is by accident. Okay, all of it has to be engineered. That's why I've gone through those key points about what to ask in the sales demo, what you should be looking for from event technology companies by way of information, and how to assess the information that they're providing you with. You need to engineer the successful outcome you're looking for when it comes to buying your event technology. And yes, getting the technology right will give you higher chances of success with your online events. So we keep it really simple. We call it the 3 S's: strategy, simplicity, success. That is it. Okay. Keep it simple. I can't tell you the number of times we've had clients come to us, they've purchased a whole load of technology. Some of it does, a few of them do all the same things, for example. One of them does nothing that they need to actually do. Simplicity. Keep your online events simple in their format and their structure. Choose simple event technology solutions. And what I mean by that is choose one technology solution. One of the things we do when we shortlist technology solutions for our clients is we only show them 3, only 3, because too many decisions. Okay, you get analysis paralysis, as they call it. Keep it simple. What do you actually need? What is the format of your event? What is the agenda of your event? Do you need 5 separate platforms to achieve a breakout room? Do you need 3 separate ways of engaging audience for a 1-hour internal sales meeting? Maybe, maybe not. Simplicity is key here. And then you have your strategy. Align your strategy exactly against what it is you're trying to achieve, whether that's your stakeholders, your partners, your customers. What do they want? If at the end of the day, they want to generate more leads, create lead generating activities and opportunities, not other opportunities and activities because they look jazzy, they look new. Stay focused. And if you keep that focus on your hierarchy of needs specifically, you will choose the best event technology for you. So if you're looking for any advice regularly, we have a brilliant podcast. It's a live video podcast every single week. You can find it on Facebook Live, or you can pop onto our website and watch the actual videos as well. And if you do have any questions, I'm just going to check the chat box function now. If you do have any questions, please feel free. Oh, wow, we do. Danielle, okay, brilliant question about how we drill down on what is needed versus what is wants, what they can't live and what they can't live without. Okay, brilliant question, Danielle. Here's the thing, it goes back to what they're trying to achieve. So who are the customers? Who are the people paying? If it's an internal event where it's free, what are you trying to offer those employees, your colleagues or peers? What are the outcomes that your stakeholders are looking for? You stick to those, basically. So those are your needs. We need to generate more leads. Okay, so we need to have, you know, a round table with that particular brand, talking to new customers with clear call to actions, downloadable content, easy to access socials. You know, that's what we need. We look for a platform that allows for breakout rooms and round tables. That's what we need. So Danielle, the answer to your question is about really getting them to be honest, okay, about what outcomes are absolutely necessary. What are the indicators of success for them? And then sometimes you've got to have a little bit of tough love. That's something that I do all the time. I just say, look, we're only shortlisting 3 platforms. That is it. Oh, you can't hear me? I'm so sorry. Hopefully you can hear me now, but we're only shortlisting 3 platforms. We're keeping it simple. We're staying focused. We are not going to be endlessly reviewing platforms because, as I said, in that mid-tier of platforms, they all do the same thing. They all do the same thing. Okay, so here we go. How do you help? Yep, Danielle, I've answered that question. Hi, Lionel. Thank you for your question. Yes, so we do have a matrix that we've created at Eventmind. And what we do is we send, first of all, we send a form to our clients and they answer those questions. And that helps me create, or it populates my matrix, which tells us what the hierarchy of needs are, budget, all of those things. And then what we do is, of course, we go out to our community. We are the only kind of unbiased and transparent community that exists in event technology. Anybody can join the database. We do verify who they are, of course. So we don't have like a, you know, orange manufacturer on our database. They're verified, but it's completely unbiased and transparent. If you are an event technology company, it is free for you to join our database. So once we send our form out to our clients, it pre-populates a matrix that we have created according to what all of the industry and benchmarks are at the moment. Okay, so we look at pricing transparency, we look at customer support, data and privacy, which is going to be really important in 2021, in addition to analytics, the making sure that analytics are being captured. Okay, so your data is being captured and you know how to analyze that data. So that's what we do, Lionel. Reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any more questions. Happy to have a chat with you, Lionel, about how it is that we actually present this information to clients and how we feed the information back to the event technology companies that we have in our database. Okay, so Anthony Smith, would you agree that the flexibility to add external applications to a platform can be useful? Absolutely. Everything's going to be about flexibility because look, we're in another lockdown in the UK. That was completely unexpected. So flexibility is going to be everything. And that's another thing, you know, I mean, this isn't a talk about event technology companies. Trust me, I give a lot of unsolicited advice to event technology companies, but simplicity is key and flexibility. If someone wants to connect an API, make it happen if it's possible. If they want to integrate a link to another platform, another open source place that they use for marketing, make it happen for your client. That's just good business practice. It's a way to retain clients. It's a way to convert clients, because I have to tell you, there's a big medium mid-tier of event technology companies now emerging. There is nothing special about any of them. Okay, most of them can do the same thing. So really it is about flexibility and simplicity if you want to be converting clients in this current climate. Danielle, you were right. Sometimes the information isn't complete. That's true, but then that's where your expertise comes in. That is where you fill in those gaps and you give advice about best practice when it comes to choosing event technology. Okay, and they just have to make a choice. It's as simple as that. Most of these decisions right now that stakeholders are making are time bound. They have to make a decision because they need to launch the online event. So that helps when it comes to nudging them along in terms of choosing best case scenario. Plenty of questions here. What I'm going to do is make sure, number one, come and find me on LinkedIn. I always say, connect with me on LinkedIn, direct message me, happy to answer any questions that you have, not a problem. And I've saved some of these questions, so probably what I will do is I'll answer some of them on my LinkedIn feed. So do hit us up. If you want to come onto the podcast show, by the way, hit us up. We are always looking for new guests. Anthony has been on the podcast. It's a live video podcast. We have really fun chats about how we keep online events simple and how we choose the right event technology. Now we've come to the top of the hour. You've been looking at me for about half an hour, so I'm going to give you a rest for the rest of your day. It has been an absolute pleasure to speak with you all about event technology. Lionel, I will, give me 1 second and I will find my LinkedIn, my direct link for you so that you can add me on LinkedIn. Here we go. I know the chat is about to end, so there you go. So you can all contact me on LinkedIn, direct message me, add me as a connection, and we will get cracking. So have a fabulous, fabulous afternoon, morning, or evening, depending on where you're at in the world right now. And I shall catch up with you soon. Take care.